So, some things I forgot to kind of mention in my previous video about a cargo plane with cables and stuff to hook up to make it more modular, or a helicopter or a cycloraptor copter or whatever, but just air travel, is that this could also make it so that we can switch between ground transportation, which ground transportation can be oftentimes more efficient because you don't have to generate lift. But it's a lot more terrain dependent, and mountains might go up and down, make that worse. You might have problems with roads and stuff that make it worse because starting and stopping. It might not be able to reach as many direct destinations in a direct path. It's also oftentimes a lot slower by like 10 or 20 times, or combining with sea travel, which is oftentimes the most efficient but the slowest. And it also can be hard if there's bad weather on sea. Now, having it be able, if you have really fancy cables that you can just pick up something from the air and drop it off and stuff like that, that'll be wonderful. But an intermediate way would be that you're not picking it up and dropping it off, but that you drop it off and it goes the rest of its way on water or land. So a container itself has wheels or is a boat or something like that. And just you pick it up for part of the way and you drop it off. Another way you could maybe do this, making it more efficient, is if you use something called the ground effect. And then for the cargo will be flying very low, close to the ground. And when something's close to or low to the ground, and including the ocean as the ground, what happens is an air gets compressed under the object. And when air gets compressed under the object, it pushes up against the object, creating more lift. And you can create sometimes up to 20 times more lift for the same amount of power. And you might be wondering, like, why isn't everything ground effect then? Well, the ground effect has some huge problems, in that it is how you can cause a lot more vibrations, especially if the device is smaller, because the surface can cause a lot of fluctuation, which means that your whole cargo might be vibrating, or it might lose stability. But if something's pulling it above, that can counteract that. It also can be more, engines might be impacted more by spray of the ocean or something like that. And on land, you might hit stuff, or might have roads and something like that. So this could let you maybe take advantage of the ground effect when you normally can't, because the plane and thing pulling it is far, far away from the ground where the negative impacts go, and you can pull it up higher quickly, but the cargo could be low and force itself up partly with lift from the ground effect. The ground effect also, there's some evidence that maybe fast-moving stuff along the ocean close might cause negative sound effects for wildlife and stuff. So you also might have to think about balancing that out. So yeah, and also, now, that is just some of the more ideas right there. Well, and again, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year for 1,000 watch hours, which is really hard. With your help, I think you can do it. Again, thank you much. Goodbye.